Hey everyone, Dave Braz here from Bear Hill Baits, and listen, I want to thank everybody in their support recently, but today is the day that we're officially going live for friends and family only. I got to be honest with you, in terms of the volume that I've gotten, in terms of the requests that I've gotten, I'm only willing to kind of roll this out to friends and family currently just because of the volume that I've been getting, and I want to make sure that I can keep up with the, with the service that I've been able to provide. But officially, I want to declare me to be open for business, but I really want to throw this out there and say really what the mission is here. And, when it comes to the fishing industry, I'll be honest with you and say that there's a lot of markup when it comes to this stuff. And it's associated with the setup costs and getting this up and running. But my mission here is not to be a profitable company. That's not the idea. I don't think I'm the person to run a profitable company when it comes to fishing. Frank from Scarface said, don't get high on your own supply. Well, when it comes to this stuff, I am a junkie. So there's no way that I'm going to be able to turn a profit in getting this stuff up and running. But what I can do is produce a high quality product at a super low price, and pass the savings of me being able to mass produce these things in my own home here in Cumberland, Rhode Island, for you guys. So what do I have envisioned for this company? I want this to essentially be a combination of your local price club meets your local tackle store, meets Tackle Warehouse, meets Bass University, meets Ike Live, meets the Zone is Awesome Fishing Show. I want this to be a place where people can share a lot of their thoughts and opinions on different baits, and also be a place that people can purchase high quality baits at a low cost. I want to run through very quickly the lineup that I have here for soft plastic baits that are available. Once again, I'm not the kind of person, I'm not very artistic when it comes to this stuff, but I am very, very basic in how I fish. I throw very basic lures and very basic colors. And here in New England, for the most part, that's really all it is. Your blacks, your browns, your greens, your white to match your shad, and maybe a shock color. That's all I'm about, realistically. There are some companies out there, and if you check out, Facebook has a ton of people who make custom baits, guys who make incredible painted lures, incredible soft plastic baits. To me personally, I don't know how much it matters to a fish. I think that for the most part, it matters more to us than it does the fish. So, I tend to keep it very, very basic. But let me run through very quickly the lineup here. And I'm not going to say the names of the baits that I've really, modeled these after, or what it is. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. But we'll start with some flipping baits. First and foremost, it's something that I've introduced previously. If you've taken a look at my videos, it's posted on there. This is the Bear Hill Baits flipping tube. Once again, specialized tube just for flipping. Take a look at the video and how I rig this, how I throw it. Awesome bait. For something a little more specialized in terms of flipping, I'm sure people will recognize this form, but this is the Bear Hill Baits B17. Beaver style bait, ribbed body, small appendages, very inline, very in terms of its profile, 4.5-inch bait. Modeled out to something that's extremely popular. Let's talk about some things that we might talk about in terms of jig trailers, or even just Texas rigging. I'll start off with a couple of low action type baits. We have the Bear Hill Baits Reel Crawl. Once again, this is high quality plastic that we're using. The plastic is actually very buoyant by itself, unless I do something to change that. So by itself, really, really durable, very soft plastic. That is very buoyant. So the claws on this little guy will float, but you have a very, very realistic looking profile and a very low action style bait. Great in the colder waters or in clear water where you want a very realistic looking bait. If you're looking for just adding volume to a jig, you can utilize a chunk trailer. Once again, very similar in terms of its how it's made. Claws will float. In colder water, they won't float as much, and that's just science in terms of the cold water. At the same point in time, if you're looking for something specific for cold water, I do have ways of embedding something into the claws of these baits to make the claws stand up a little bit more, or as we get into some of the finesse baits, make the plastic be a little more buoyant. But for the most part, by itself, it is a very buoyant plastic, unless I salt it to weight it down. To which in these baits that I've presented so far, none of them are salted, and neither is this guy right here. So if you're looking for something with a little more action to it, as water gets warmer, you want something that's going to flap around. There's the Bear Hill Baits Flappy Craw. Now we're going to get into some swim baits, and this one in particular I really like to throw for smallmouth. This is a finesse swim bait, a little 4-inch guy right there. I love to drag that on the bottom for smallmouth. That is in the Bear Hill Baits signature color, purple flake and green pumpkin. I will talk about the signature color of Bear Hill Baits on the go forward, but once again, a super effective bait, finesse presentation. If you're looking for something that's a little more power, and I'm sure that this profile will be something very common and people will recognize this, but we have a 4.8-inch fat swimming shad. Once again, that's in the green pumpkin purple flake. And then we have a big guy, 6-inch swim bait. You know, and it kind of needs no introduction. I do have another swim bait that I like to present that a lot of people like to utilize these guys right here as trailers for chatterbaits, and I've been very, voiced my opinion many times about how, when I'm throwing a chatterbait, I don't want something that just has a paddle tail that just kicks back and forth. I don't want a swim bait that works at its best when it can roll side to side. The chatterbait really has a great side to side swimming action. And I want a trailer that really matches that. So this is the Bear Hill Baits Javelin. And you're going to see it's modeled essentially after a jointed swim bait, but just in a soft plastic model. And when you pair this up, and this is a Z-Man chatterbait, it's a green pumpkin chatterbait. I've added purple strands to the trailer and added a green pumpkin purple Bear Hill Baits Javelin to it. And I think that guy right there, that is going to be a winner right there. But if you've ever seen a Zacco or something like that as a trailer on a chatterbait, you're going to see that the action that you get out of that bait is so much better. It matches the action of the chatterbait so much better than just a typical paddle tail. On to something I think is extremely common. They kind of need no introduction themselves. 5-inch and a 5-inch and a 4-inch. Again, this is in the green pumpkin purple flake. This is the Bear Hill Baits soft stick bait. I do utilize a licensed Gary Yamamoto mold on this, but these are not Gary Yamamoto Senkos. This is a Bear Hill Baits stick bait. What makes a great stick bait? Super high quality plastic, a ton of softener added to the mix, and a lot of salt in these baits. And you're going to see that this is a very durable bait given the quality of the plastic that I use, right? And then you're looking at the softness of this bait. I'm going to be honest with you and say that I would be happy to take the Pepsi Challenge over some of the high quality stick baits out on the market. And this guy right here in the 4-inch model, same thing. And then in terms of some other finesse baits, this is a bait that I like to cut down and can drop shot or throw it as a shaky head because it is buoyant, or could throw it weightless. And this is actually in my personal signature color. And this is the Bear Hill Baits finesse worm, straight worm. Once again, the tail does float. The color itself is a smoke color with a purple iridescent. And I don't know what it's showing on the camera. I got to be honest with you and say that from an in-person standpoint, it is a translucent bait with a little bit of a hint of smokiness to it. And then the purple iridescent is when the light hits it a certain way, you see purple. So I don't know what you're seeing on the camera, but for the most part, that is a color that I think is absolutely money because it's super subtle, but still will give a little bit of a flash when the time comes. And the final soft bait that I'll present tonight is something that I cannot mass produce. It's not something I can make in large quantities, but I think it's a bait that needs no introduction. And this is my drop shot bait, so it's the Bear Hill Baits drop shot bait. This guy right here, once again needs no introduction, but the one that you find on the open market is salted, and I think that that's a problem in terms of you're going to see that you probably have to overwork that bait or work that bait a little more than I would like to in order to keep that bait from stay horizontal with the bottom. I got to be honest with you and say that I think when we're talking about drop shot baits, I don't think that they should be salted. I think that, you know, by itself, that tail should float up for you, and you shouldn't have to overwork it to get this thing to stay horizontal. So take a look at this little guy here. I think we got ourselves a winner. Now again, I do have a line of hard baits coming out. I'm not quite up and running yet, but I'll tease it a little bit and kind of show you guys what I got going. But you know, I'm very basic when it comes to this stuff. My patterns that I have are super, super basic, but once again, it's going to be, you know, a shad pattern, a perch pattern. I do a craw pattern on a crankbait, and then a shock color. Nothing crazy here, right? But I want to also kind of show just a couple of samples of what I've been putting together. And we're going to take a look at a couple of jerk baits here. We got the shad pattern. We got a perch pattern. Super high quality terminal on this. I mean, these are the KVD short shank 2X treble hooks on there. And hold on a second. Very sticky hooks. Oval split rings on the front. We got a couple in the shock colors. Just teasing a couple of these baits out there a little bit. The Bear Hill Baits Fat Guy. This is the Fat Bear and the Little Bear. And we also have an assortment of some walking baits as well. But once again, you know, I'm not crazy in terms of my painting prowess. There's guys out there who make some really, really fantastic baits, but I'll be honest with you and say that, you know, if I can keep the time that I soak into this at a minimum, and again, this isn't Bear Hill custom baits. I do and can make some custom stuff, but for the most part, the idea is driving down the cost of some of these mass-produced baits. Driving down the cost only works if I can produce a large quantity in a small amount of time. So if you want something that's super, super tailored to just what you want, and you want, you know, a soft plastic bait with 17 colors layered in, I don't think this is I'm the guy for you, right? There's plenty of guys out there who would be more than happy to do that stuff for you. But if you want a super high quality bait at a reasonable price, this is the place to go. And, you know, once again, this is a non-profit company. So the idea is that the money that's invested into this basically gets invested into new molds, new models, stuff that'll actually help me drive down the cost or produce more styles of baits. So, you know, that's kind of the objective here. Not looking to make any money on this. I don't think I ever could in fishing, right? The whole idea of if you ever want to become a millionaire fishing, then you should start off as a billionaire. And, you know, this is more or less a hobby of mine, but just wanted to share this with you guys. Super excited to get this up and running. This has been a lot of work to get to this point. But I hope you guys can see that there's a lot of options here. And I'm not really pushing for people to spread the word quite yet. When that time comes, I will have a number of giveaways and a lot of prize packs. We'll probably do some live stuff, but in terms of videos, I will produce a lot of videos around these baits and other baits out on the market. I want to host a couple of other local guys to come in and do some videos as well, and sharing some of their techniques that they like to use. And at the same time, we're probably going to do some live stuff on the water, which I know is ballsy, but there's going to be points in time throughout the year that I think that we can produce with live video on the water. Or just some on-the-water instructional videos with some of the local anglers within the area. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up soon. If you're looking or interested in purchasing some of this stuff, just message me on Facebook. Pretty soon I will get some stuff around pricing around this up and running, but I can tell you this, that the soft plastic baits and the model that I'm going to be following is every pack of soft plastic baits is going to be $5. But depending on what the bait is will depend on the quantity that you get in it. So the one thing I will tell you this is that, you know, if there's something that's $8 for a pack of 5, odds are from me that same thing is going to be $5 for a pack of 8. So super simple when it comes to that stuff. When it comes to smaller things like this, yeah, it'll be $5 a bag, but you will get probably more than you'll ever really need in that bag. So something that we're going to be working on, and I'll get some pricing out there for you. But by all means, hey, take a look on Facebook, take a look on YouTube. I want to continuously be pushing out a number of different videos and presenting some of these baits. But hey, listen guys, thank you for watching Tight Lines. Welcome to Bear Hill Baits.